Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. How are you enjoying the intensity? It has turned up a few notches, hasn't it? I'd say so. So yeah, yesterday, 17th, which was another 8-8 day, has been quite intense. Now, there was a lot of fuckery around the new moon. I'm not a fan of moons, as you know. So in my reality, they don't exist. At least not as false fuckery. Because you need to talk it into existence, and this is everything I've been doing. And I know people try to shoot me for it, but I don't understand that you need to create the reality you want to experience in this now moment with every word, thought, feeling, belief, and action you take. You need to override it, as well as I'm not blind to anything, ever. I don't wash over shit. I'm not in a false love and light reality, neither do I focus on the horrible shitness of everything and are being drawn down into a trauma recycling scheme of reality. I see things for what they are, and then I override them and see, okay, how can we fix them? And that's what I'm sharing here. So if you get triggered by this, it's okay, but you need to hold your triggers. You need to own them, really. They're not going to do anything to my field anymore, ever, again. We're done with this now. As you fully seal and heal your God sovereign, free, morphogenetic field of the new cosmic Christ, no one's false projections, unacknowledged shadow aspects projected at you are ever going to hurt your field ever again. But you have to claim this. Again, nobody can do this for you. I can help people, and my activations and calls are super helpful. They really accelerate your journey. They should make it easier, but you need to apply what I'm talking about. And if you feel triggered, again, fine, but you need to hold your triggers. You need to hold your, because I've been clearly shown, like, people who are projecting their shadow aspects, especially this is the beginning of black magic. When you're like, really like, this person, this and that, and you have these negative energies and you just project them at them instead of holding them in your field and see like, oh, what's happening here? I'm being triggered. What aspect of me have I still not integrated? Because that's full responsibility, accountability of your field. Okay? Because if you don't like what I talk about, change the freaking channel. But that's the issue. So many people are like drawn to me and project all of their shit onto me because they can't help themselves, because they're unconscious. And yes, forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing, because they're stuck in forgetfulness. But it's also, this is the end of all of this. You can't do this anymore on your earth. And your earth is here now. Sekera, shkukura, kenateake. So what are you tuning into? Which parallel reality, if you had a choice, because you do have a choice, are you tuning into now? Because not much of what's happening now is being said. This today, which is already the 1808, the 18th, freaking powerful, isn't it? And yeah, I wish we were already in love bliss, but what I'm seeing is, again, with the new moon, a lot of fuckery happened because there are all of these meditations, activations that are taking place. People are taking part and I think they're doing something good, and it's actually feeling the opposite. I used to take part in these things, so I know what I'm talking about. So even when delays are caused, we always catch up. So I don't know what's going to come out of me today. I had a call early on with my scene gray line container, 0303, and that was quite interesting and very powerful. And we cleared and aligned a lot in the field. And since then, a lot has happened. And we're like, literally afterwards, my heart just felt like bursting wide open. And I was speaking with a lot of intensity and people still fell asleep, which is hilarious to me. But then I was thinking, if I could do this to myself, and then I was like, oh yeah, I can. Because if I listen back to my own stuff, especially the activations, I do, go into this really deep state or fall asleep myself. Because I do really transmit these really high frequencies from the Godhead, the gamma waves. that are really enabling you to integrate it at a much deeper level, which is beyond language, which is beyond what we're speaking here, which does bring in distortions, but it's also necessary in order to bridge differences, discord, clear things up. Because this is all about merging spirit and matter. So we're not about ascending. Well, right now it's like we are separating the wheat from the chaff. Don't you be mistaken. So what's happening right now? I've had so much intensity over the last 24 hours. Oh my goodness. The density, the depression, the anxiety. It's all part of the clearing, as well as it was further fuckery trying to mess with us. But what I could see clearly is that so much of the density, the heaviness, the depression, the negative feelings we've been feeling as starseeds have really been projected onto us through this false mirror projection, which ultimately comes back to us not owning our own shadow projections and project them out at others. So that's how we clear this. We can't fix other people, we can fix it within ourselves. And we all project to certain layers and levels. And we all have been suppressing. And right now, anything that's been suppressed is coming up. It has to. It's your unconscious. Your feelings, emotions, intuition is your higher self speaking to you, God self. Your higher identity is trying to come in. If you keep trying to shut it off and overwriting it with your monkey mind, you can't ascend. Seriously, the masculine needs to fucking lose their monkey mind right now and understand that they have been fucking wrong. Not wrong, it's not about even wrong, but it's just like you've been stuck in an illusion. And it doesn't matter how far you are away from the real true reality, which can only be felt through the heart, for your own divine inner feminine. It doesn't matter, just your ego cares. It's your freedom. It's your breakthrough. So you either, it's like, it's make or break time right now. I can't say it any more clearly to anyone. So either fully jump in, lose your freaking monkey mind and surrender to your heart, okay? Or you're going to be dragged one way or another to the other side, at least those listening. But it's separating the wheat from the chaff. The lower level of consciousness is being transmuted into a higher state of consciousness, which is what we're doing through us elevating everything to a higher state of consciousness. So no matter what has happened to us, everything can be turned around into a positive. So it's how you see everything that decides what reality you're even looking at. That's how healing happens. And it doesn't matter how far you think you are away from fully healing. It's about realizing you're perfectly imperfect as you are. Stop trying to fix yourself or anyone else and just fall deeply in love with your true, eternal, authentic self, which is a very unique expression of the cosmic Christ, which cannot be shown to you by anyone else. You have to remember your true self. This is all what Know Thyself is about. And then you know how to read everyone else. And the only reason that the divine masculine is stuck in a monkey mind is because he feels separate still from the feminine. So either he sees himself less or as more than her. And again, this is beyond gender, but it can play out as that a lot. So the masculine and often in society has either overpowered the feminine, tried to overpower her, whether with physical means or, mental abuse and gaslighting and telling her she's crazy. Again, you're doing this to your own feminine and your own mind, like your own heart, gaslighting it, questioning it, not following it. And you keep digging yourself, the masculine eye can just see again, some minds, especially of individuals, have dug themselves such a hole so deep, convinced by their own crazy stories that they can't see a way out. All you need to do is just fully surrender, let it go, and just let your heart guide you. Speak from the freaking heart. This is what heals. It's so important right now because at the core of all of this is non-communication. If you can communicate, why wouldn't you? Because you're afraid to get it wrong. Like again, ultimately, whatever we see in another, we also have within ourselves. Yeah, so as we align, everything aligns for us. But right now it's really like, yeah, the door is wide open, but either you walk through and decide who are the people, places, things that are for you, and you close the door on others who aren't. This is like all in or all out. This is no more waiting. This is the end of freaking patience, believe me. This is the end. Now, when we do the activation today on the 18th or 8th, and thank you so much for those who have signed up, and my Ascension and Grey Line container, who will be also there. And I hope as many can be there live as possible, because it is important. These are very important collective activations. They accelerate your own ascension journey as well as the collective one. And if you let your ego prevent you from being all in, then I don't know what to say anymore at this point. Se quédate, date. So anyone who wants to take part in the activation, also on the replay, it's very much as powerful, but it's great to have people there live. With the right keys and codes, okay, believing in this, that we can call Earth all in as we fully unify the divine masculine feminine within, heart, mind, already unified, although they may be having still a little bit of realignment to do and squabbles here. And what we're doing tomorrow, I can see as we start the call, this will be dealt with. The heart and mind will be fully online as one. Because this is all part of the lineup. This is all, the activation is already online. As soon as you sign up, you decide taking part, this is online. It's a higher intelligence working beyond all of this. We are completing the ascension on behalf of all. Sukara activity. So those who still want to take part, the details are in the description box. It's also a way to support me, and they really are very powerful. Again, we'll anchor them for the whole collective in the field. So ultimately, there's nothing, missing that you're missing out, as well as it would be really helpful the more people could support and at their, again, you need to come from a pure intention of like wanting to accelerate your journey and that of the collective without seeking a quick fix. Okay. All right. So all the heavy energies, depression, anxiety, tensions, it's been shown to me. It's like literally the opposition has projected all of their shit at us, what have been sucking energy from us. There's energy siphoning, okay, that happens when we are like traumatized and in this lower stage of feeling, consciousness, frequency. It's literally being reversed because there's been this reverse mirror effect, and it still comes down to the origin has been us not owning our own shadow aspects and projecting them onto one another. And again, we all do this, and we've all been suppressing, and the main problem is suppressing anything. Because again, your emotions, your intuition, it's your connection to source, it's your higher self wanting to come in. Whenever you tell yourself you shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't be this or that, that's an issue. You're suppressing. You won't let your higher self come in. It's another thing. You're just going crazy, okay, and vomiting all of your anger across the walls and at people. It's a whole different thing. But you need to feel it, and you need to go all into it, and then you get out the other end. So what many of us have been feeling, especially as we unify and come to this divine twin flame reunion, there's a lot of discord being purged in the field in order to get out the other end. So yeah, you need to be totally done with relationships and love and never don't care about it anymore, because you're ultimately coming to divine union with your true self, where no one else outside of you is needed, because there's only one of us here. Sukura teate. As well as it's the both ends, we can't do this on our own. And we're all doing this together. Already in the astral, energetic, telepathic field of the Emerald Diamond Rosette network, which is telepathic, which is taking over. But you have to clear out all of these layers and levels of what's hating on to one another or not expressing our emotions and anger and suppressing it. Because people like me purge all of this shit. And I know people judge me for coming across the way I do, but actually I'm clearing the field and I'm feeling all the feelings all the other people don't do. And believe me, I'm very balanced. Suppressing and just being at this place of everything is great, everything is fine, nothing is happening. And you feel anger coming up and then you're suppressing it because you shouldn't be feeling it. That's the issue. And you're projecting, if you think that I'm coming from a place of, I don't know, too much anger, or I'm imbalanced, or some dark feminine, you're suppressing your own dark shadows. Pure gold. Because that anger actually allows you to create real change if you channel it properly. Again, it's not about being rude to one another. It's not about hating on one another and attacking one another. It's finding healing ways of conversations, because as we can speak the truth to one another from heart to heart, from the heart, fully open, no filters, no masks, no worry about being rejected or abandoned, by speaking our truth, magic happens and we all heal. So teate. But yeah, you need to feel safe in that space, because otherwise people, will shoot you right in the heart. But the thing is, once you're fully healed, ultimately nobody can hurt you anymore, because there's no one outside of you and you're not even creating these scenarios. It's all imagination. If you don't resolve your traumas and wounds, you keep recreating it, projecting it out at the screen, like such as people like me, because you can't own your own anger. For example, I feel all kinds of stuff, really dense emotions, in the most intense. Nothing happens in my life. It's just I'm constantly clearing the field. But yeah, it's not been fun. Also because a lot of people in the collective are not owning their feelings. They're suppressing them. And people like us, the blue rays, are transmitting all of the shit, being called crazy, but just being honest and straightforward and being their true self. Because other people get triggered by that. Because as you show your true colors, they show their true colors. They're very uncomfortable with those emotions coming out. So a word that came in, which was actually very interesting, is that we all, in German, it came on in German, ergänzen. Wir ergänzen einander. So in English, it would be we complement one another. But then other translation of that word in English would be to, which I found very interesting. So that's why I think it came in German. Was that it also means to recharge, to recruit, to complete, to supplement, to amend, to replenish, to endorse, to add. Okay? So we're all here to complement one another. We're all here to build a whole. And whatever we see in one another, we see within ourselves, and we just haven't really acknowledged until we have fully cleared our mirror and just see beauty. Okay, so anyone being frustrated with what I'm saying, and I can't see, for example, physical evidence of New Earth, is ultimately, I get it. We all get frustrated. But don't project your shit onto me, and it's all good, generally. But also you need to really own this, because I can feel this in the field. And right now, ultimately, I don't care anymore, because it's just going straight back at you. Okay? Because it's your own projection of your own unhappiness. I mean, otherwise, you just, I don't know, you wouldn't. You just leave it there. Anyway, it's just too freaking tiring, this bullshit. Seriously, it's just like, everybody just needs to own their shit, okay? Stop projecting, feel it all, and then move beyond it. You're not supposed to feel nothing at all, but what you're feeling. Until somebody told you you're not supposed to feel it, and that causes suppression, and that's the issue, and then it builds up, and then we start projecting, and believe me, it gets so inverted that these reversals then happen in our blueprint, because everybody it's just like, believe me, the negative alien agenda, cabal, or whatever, they project all of their shit onto us. They think they're in the right, okay? They don't have the capacity to understand what the highest truth is, because they're just not of that frequency bandwidth. All right. So it's cognitive dissonance, where a frequency, a certain level of consciousness doesn't allow you to see what's really there. Okay. Which we have all been under. So again, we've all fallen in consciousness. But now that we know better and will do better, none of this ever has happened It doesn't need to happen ever again. And it's totally quantum. So anyone noticing the time acceleration and the freaking intense energy is flowing in now? And I'm telling you, this is only the start. So be ready, because the love bliss wave tsunami is here to change everything forever in a moment, which will be with our activation call tomorrow, at the very least energetically. And this is where our hearts burst wide open, and it's already here. Okay? True divine love and union with the self and with all of life everywhere, fully igniting New Earth now, bringing in fully, they're already flooding the field, divine union keys and codes. And as they do all of that, what is not that is being fully purged in preparation for that. So again, and again, well, what everybody feels also is different in every now moment, you know, and we can, like right now, like my notes are all over the place. Everybody, like I was early on, even more all over the place, so to say, as in there's just so much information, so many epiphanies, everything flooding in and completing, because again, past, present, and future is all happening and culminating, collapsing into the now moment, the eternal now moment. And that's where everything is possible. There is no more time as such, as we know it. Okay, the quantum field is fully open. You fully need to drop all kind of timelines. This is it. It's a frequency shift. This is a full, I think most people by now listening can feel this massive quantum shift of the consciousness happening, because ultimately it's happening from within you. Again, you should not look outside to look for proof. You need to ignite the proof, the knowing, the no more doubt frequency for it to pop out into your reality from your heart. But in order to get there, yes, it's totally okay to have doubts, worries, whatever, fears. All right, but please just own them and stop projecting them onto me. Especially if you're doing kind of, you know, like want to do the same as me and we're all in the same boat. That's been the issue. I've been seeing this across the spiritual community. It's like both sides want the same thing, but they've been put against one another. You need to see the fucking agenda playing out of the love light community or new age, whatever you want to call it, in ascension mechanics. It's just another version of inversion of you thinking the other ones are at fault here and are the problem. We've all been put against one another. You need to fully let go of all of these programs, right, wrong, good, bad, this is this is that. Really, right now, just forget about it. Remember what is really true, the simplified truths of the oneness that overrides all, because you cannot solve a problem from the level it exists upon. You cannot transcend separation from a place of seeing everything separated and polarized, right, wrong, good, bad. You cannot. You are here to own all aspects of you, the shadow and the light, and fully merge them, alchemize them, fully rebirth yourself, which is both. We're not just supposed to be love and light. We're not just supposed to be perfect. We're not just supposed to be always in the acidic state. We're supposed to have a balance. That's what I see for the new earth realities, however you want to call that. However you want to categorize this. Ultimately, when you come back to it, it's still, once you've deconstructed all of these complicated realities and quantum matrices, it's just imagination and projection, and you're fully reimagining everything. Seriously, your imagination is your limit. Whether you believe you can or you can't, whatever anyone has ever told you, you can or cannot do, or by what time something is supposed to happen, or how it's going to happen in a really complicated way, especially. Oh my God, please just let it go right now. Why do you even believe it? Do you really feel, if you really feel into your heart, do you really, really believe that? That's the whole thing. If you really free your field from all preconceived ideas, belief systems, thought forms, the masculine has to let go of freaking time. It's all imagination. It's a frequency. New Ascension Earth is already here. We are fully quantum leaping, merging with that reality, because we're not here for a disclosure timeline. Do you actually understand what a real disclosure, how everybody's been painting this, is going to look like? It means mass psychological fallout. Nobody needs this. Neither is this the truth. The real truth is the oneness, which has co-created all of this. The real truth is heaven on earth. This is a false reality. I was walking out today. Oh my God, it took me a few moments to really, I felt really disoriented, really wobbly, really like, oh my God, like I could just see the platforms. There's a fucking fakery over everything. See beyond it, override, access organic reality for your own organic template. So what I see happening with this 1808 is basically a full walk-in, massive collective walk-in of our higher identities. Because we've been doing all the clearing up of all of these assholes, especially today and yesterday. Like the last 3 days were mainly about I did do some notes, but basically it's all the miasma. Miasma is also like, it's basically like frozen crystals around your field and especially around your DNA. It's basically the reversals. And as this fully clears, also causes a lot of, physical symptoms and aches and all of that stuff. But this is how your DNA can now fully activate. So full DNA activation of our 13 to 15 dimensional divine blueprint and beyond, the cosmic Christ fully activated. Okay, and I see the divine twin flames again. I've seen a new indigo free template that has been created over the last 2 years, which is basically 72 strands of triple helix DNA plus 3s1. As the twin flames of the 144 complete the 72 plus 72, we have 144, which is a full divine blueprint of pure God source consciousness emanated through that field that the 144 original twin flames carry. Now, that happens through divine union, not through time. Te karate. And you need to live in a miracle where everything happens in the now moment. That's the only time anything ever happens. Might be huge, long build-up, doesn't matter, and the thing is also a breakthrough happens just before a breakdown happens just before the breakthrough, or a healing crisis just before you're fully healed. So it doesn't matter where you're at. We all hold different pieces and parts to the puzzle. All you really need to do is fully surrender your monkey mind to your heart. Okay, and trust your inner guidance and keep going there. So our hearts and crowns have been powerfully opened up with all the interference fully clearing, all the black magic fully clearing. Thank you again for everyone who's been part of the Unify with Your God Self and doing that activation also and clearing all of that shit out to fully heal the cosmic Christ shield. The details are below. So whether it's the 1308 call, which was called Unify with Your True God Self, or Your God Self, and then part of that was, or you can also purchase that separately, was the cosmic Christ shield, which is basically clearing out all of that black magic and interference and so forth, and sealing your shield field and the whole cosmic Christ field and shield from any of these outside interferences. So it's part of us fully unifying with our God self and bring this all in, unifying our multidimensional self. Very powerful call, 2 very powerful activations. I can only recommend it. The details are below in the description box. And again, tomorrow we basically build on top of that to fully unify, as the heart and mind have already unified of the masculine and feminine, and are fully coming into equilibrium, harmony and balance in this now moment. What's left now is basically unifying the soul and physical planes. So let's do that. And it's basically us, and especially the twin flames, merging spirit and matter. Okay? So heaven and earth, higher and lower self, masculine and feminine, right and left brain. Okay? Let's do this. These are all principles, energies. This is fully completing. These are the divine HIEROGAMIC union codes that I very much carry, especially connected to my incarnation as Sarah, the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Jeshua, who that bloodline was literally created, or that is what the Holy Grail is about, and the Gray lines in general, is bringing back the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, the Tri-Wave, the God field, the God source consciousness, through the HIEROGAMIC union codes, as they're unifying this whole new androgynous blueprint of the masculine and feminine unified with the God self. So ascension now is again no more just separate, you descending into your spiritual body and you're leaving a physical body behind. No, it's a collective HIEROGAMIC union event. All of these codes haven't been fully available before. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship you've been in. Okay, and we are, as 144, as the original tribes, original twin flames, however you want to call this, are fully anchoring this on behalf of all. And this really quantum completes our ascension. That's what I've been shown. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest. But again, it's happening ultimately within us, because now we don't need another person, so to say, to come to divine union with our masculine or feminine. It's happening within us. As I've also been sharing before, the whole journey has kind of been, we were in an androgynous body, split into masculine, feminine. Things happened in our journey to kind of, we kind of felt halves. We've been looking everywhere to kind of fill that space, that feeling of not being fully, truly enough as we are. Because we've been missing our opposite energies within our field, or they have always been there, but it's like it's also connected to the split between the mental and emotional body, and again the masculine and feminine on many different layers and levels, and a lot of the distortions that came in with that. But it ultimately brought us back, because there's a higher order behind everything, to this new divine blueprint, the androgynous Christa Sapphira, the Christos Sophia, the androgynous Albion body in the earth, where you have this running in your own body. So ultimately you don't need another person to complete your divine union process. And it's not about twin flames as such. It's just like you have a divine masculine or feminine counterpart in your field, in your etheric field, always. Because again, it's an androgynous blueprint. That's where you came from, and that's what you're always trying to return to. That's why all of this has been happening. So you need to understand why, and again, there are many different layers and levels to it, the kind of discord that has happened, and as well as the magnetic pole and like push and pull energies that happen as you're trying to reintegrate with your opposite energetics, okay, with your true whole self, without necessarily needing one person, as well as that may be part of your journey, because, specific people trigger a lot within us, and this is ultimately returning back to our one true beloved. And I do believe there's one highest twin flame for you, as well as there may be other versions or lower twin flames as such, or less aligned, so to say, because we're all part of a monadic blueprint, and you have, the way it's been set up is 6 males and 6 females, and this is also what we're completing within the cosmic monad, but it's kind of, we've doubled. So it's like, again, you're not just, a feminine, you're a masculine and feminine within your own right. And as you come back with your true divine counterpart and twin flame, and I believe we all have them, they might not be known to us, but they exist. We complete that blueprint, but it's doubled. Because this together as well completes for me the, as we all come together as one tribe, as the cosmic monad, it completes the 144, because 12 times 4, 12 is 144. Uska Aisha Manteake, plus 3 is 1, Subtanate. Hope this makes sense. I know I'm speaking more in codes and higher dimensional language as usual. And I know people you may be feeling very sleepy, because again, I do transmit very high gamma frequencies from the Godhead, the 0-point field, which is way beyond words. So I'm not going to go much longer. Although, again, I have loads of notes, but yeah, it's in the field, truly. It really is. So feel into what's really real. The 111 has been a huge code, as well as the 144 or the 441. It's really like the Holy Grail in the Trinity. It's been ignited within all of us. It's the threefold founder flame. It's the original sound and light fields of creation. The Ankh body, the cosmic quantum tree of life, or the cosmic egg. It's all been reset, completed in no time whatsoever. And you need to remember that all you ever have been seeking outside of you is ultimately inside of you. You're fully complete as you are, perfectly imperfect. There's nothing missing. Because the real pandemic here has so far been that we are not enough as we are, and that there's something wrong with us, which are really just programs, if you really go deep into it. And false evidence appearing real, which is fear, which is why the masculine rising is all about the mind fully surrendering to the heart and becoming one with the God mind that has no fear. You see, feel the fear and do it anyway. Because this is really like door closing time, seriously. So anyway, enough said. So divine love is a consciousness, it's a frequency we hold, it's not dependent on any outside source, people, places, things. That's why our attachments, which cause the density in us feeling dragged down, is really about. As you let go, I've been very busy clearing all the attachments, cords, hooks, all of that shit, miasma from the field. I'm in a really good place now, okay? Although I would have hoped we would be in a higher, like, lighter state right now, although we've been having some previews. There was just a lot more shit to deal with the new moon nonsense happening as always. Seriously. So our hearts are fully opening now because we need to, like, I can feel in my own space. It's like, you know, you're kind of done with love. You're like kind of done with relationships. You've been let down by friends, family, society, and you need to just remember the core essence, original innocence, as well as not allowing any bullshit in your reality. It's the both end, and you fully need to say no to any distorted elements, any masculine, doesn't matter how much you love them, or feminine, then displaying distorted aspects. You just need to, because it's ultimately aspects of you. And as you say no to them and fully close that down, then they either have to rise if it's connected to a person, or they're just going to vibe out of your field. Like it has to. That's love. It's freedom. Because what's happened a lot within the twin flame collective, for example, that the masculine keeps the feminine hostage in a way, energetically, by not deciding, by not taking action, by not speaking his truth fully to all. That's what's keeping the distortions in the field. He needs to see it for what it is and no longer feed the devil. The devil energies are ultimately fears. They're not real. You need to see what's at work here. I had a note on this, now I can't find it. Can't find it. Oh yeah, here. The devil energies are really like, if you want to like put a picture on anything, are really our deeply suppressed shadow aspects that we then, when we shed light onto them, they're fully dissolved. Because this is a thing of the past. They don't exist anymore in my reality. They really don't. As you fully turn the shadow into the light and you no longer demonize anything, judge nothing, you have just pure discernment. All of this shit dissolves. It's why I need to be so careful. I just want to say one more thing about Maui. Because what I've been shown is not energy weapons, but basically distorted elementals, demonic energies lighting these fires. You know, that's another thing. You need to like double check, like, has there been any proof of what's actually being circulated? Then the drama is being turned up. I mean, again, everything is like perfect as it is. But I am not saying, for example, that like you shouldn't give a shit about people dying. No, every life is sacred. That's your own interpretation. What I'm saying is that you understand that everybody has soul contracts and you leave when you leave and you live when you live. It's not down to you. You feeling bad about it and being dragged into that energetic siphoning exercise. Are you serving anyone with that? Again, if you have to purge, you have to purge. But is it really helping people? It's the same as like people dying or like funerals. You know, in other societies, like funerals are being celebrated, like a party to celebrate a person's life. What it looks like in most Western societies is a pity party for the people who are being left behind. It has very little to do with what's actually happening here. You're just leaving your physical vehicle to ascend. Like even the people descending right now and the beings are ultimately ascending back to the Godhead. Okay? This is the end of suffering, but we need to stop it. by saying no to devil energies, by saying no to fear, which is false evidence appearing real. Otherwise, you're creating what you don't want to experience to just experience that it didn't kill you in the end. I mean, most of the time, unless you're, had another choice and chose another experience from the Godhead. The Godhead, when you see through the eyes of God, this is no rose-tinted glasses. You can see and feel unconditional love for everyone and everything, but it doesn't mean that you don't also can make very hard decisions. Like now, God also has to make, as a whole, as the oneness, again, to purge a whole level of consciousness. And you have to be unattached, again, to people, places, things, to the Maya of the mind, the illusion that's playing all of this out. Okay, if you want to suffer, fine. Think what you're seeing on a television or wherever is really real, even in front of your own eyes. Are you really feeling into it? Or are you just there with your mind? Can you see beyond it? Can you see the positive in everything? Can you see the divine plan underlying everything? Do you have full trust in God? Or are you disconnected? That's really what it's all about. Because once you're fully connected to Source, you can see it through Source's eyes, but you no longer have to suffer along with anyone, as well as having true unconditional love for all beings, for all of creation, as well as you no longer allow distortions to play out. Ekatenate, within and without. There was a lot that needed to be cleared from the field, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to take a break now, because believe me, guys, I'm not enjoying speaking like this. It's just coming through me. Literally, I don't care what anybody believes, things, projects at me ultimately, although I prefer people to just keep their negative emotions to themselves and sort them out, all right? But ultimately, it's about I'm fulfilling a purpose here, and it's clearing, aligning the field. And whatever needs to be said from whatever energy it needs to be said, and the frequency being transmitted through me is beyond me. I'm not even doing it. The same as, the energy I'm speaking to through, because people to still fall asleep, although that's certainly not, what it does to me right now, or that is the intention. So it's happening through me, because I empty myself out, and I ultimately don't care if people get triggered by me and think that I'm distorted just because they can't, own up to their own unresolved feelings and wounds and traumas. So now that we know better, we will do better and bring everyone home. Remember what you're here for. Remember who you are. Own, feel all of your feelings. There's nothing you should not never feel. As you go into it and you feel it without spreading it onto the walls, you get to the truth. Believe me, you just need to keep following the feelings and the thoughts, but just keep observing and keep going back to your heart. I mean, it was so intense today. Nothing happens to my reality as such. I just feel like I'm about to explode from the inside out. I feel so much tension, so much. I mean, I'm doing energetically a lot of work, so I know what it's down to. Again, clearing all of these soulless demonic beings of this freaking planet, all the miasma, all the cords and hoax from the cosmic Christ. So, plus, there's obviously, as this is like the pinnacle of the kind of spiritual war, you can feel it in the field, no matter how freaking invincible you feel this, you can feel the pressure. Because obviously they've been freaking panicking. That's also what the new moon was about. I was like thinking of doing a remote activation, but there's just so much I can do. And the video that I did the night before was more important. So anyway, but we were prepared still, as well as there was a lot to deal with. But it's just part of the clearing. Because as I then see that basically most of what we've been experiencing, so the depression, anxiety, all of that was literally projected from the opposition, from these, negative beings, the fallen angelics, whatever you want to call them, NAA, onto us. And they've been basically sucking our happiness, our life force, literally out of us. That's what life force is. It's happiness. Okay? So it's the same with money. They've been enslaving us, sucking all of our money, sitting on all of the billions, the 1%, where the rest is kind of a lot of people are struggling. So this is what happened also at energetic level, and this is where you can align it. So again, this thing also with Maui and everything that's happening there, besides how it even happened, it's like for example, the government now trying to claim that land. It's like, so what are you going to do? Are we going to fight against? Are we going to fight against the systems? And again, some people might need to do this. Okay, and that's all good and fine. And I used to go to demonstrations until I learned, okay, I'm doing this differently now. It's like shifting my reality from the inside out. And yeah, it might take a few good years, but beginner. Okay, taking over the consciousness. It's shifting. And it's not just positive and negative, it's both. Okay, if you think even of your own field, in masculine, feminine, positive, negative, is anything ever just positive or negative? No, every experience, everything you can perceive is positive, negative. As you fully merge it within the 0-point field, the Godhead, that's the sweet spot. Okay, where it's positive, negative, the new alignment of the Christ field, the new cosmic Christ rod and staff codes, fully online, where it's both ends. And that's matter and antimatter fully merged. That's spirit and matter fully merged. That's masculine and feminine fully merged. And that's what we're completing now. The 1808. 344. So it is done. Usa, tena, keate, shunata. But yeah, until it's done, you know, we still need to make it happen. That's the whole thing. It's not done until it's done. We need to collapse these quantum wave functions. And it's not just happening from imagining it. All right. So fully open your heart, connect deeply to love. Those people that are of true soul resonance, that's what we need to open up to now. Really knowing who to open up to and who not to. What to let go, what's good for us and what's not. That's you fully aligning with your true divine self. That's you aligning with your true soul family. As you do this, everything aligns for you, and it's just going to align in a massive way right now. Timelessly. As you align, all aligns. And we're aligning all as one. Okay, and bringing everyone home, one way or another, as we hold up the mirror with true divine love, okay? And you understand that whatever you're projecting out, seeing, is ultimately a reflection of yourself, one way or another. So keep adjusting, keep shifting the mirror from within, okay? And the more you're aligned with your true self, the more the true reality will reveal itself one way or another, because it's projected out from within. So remember, the last war is won from within. That's where it all started. So again, with Maui, what we're going to do? We're going to just fight the systems or whatever? Or are we going to go deep within and shift the realities from within and now fully reclaim our land, which is our realities, which is our blueprint, which is our sovereignty, which is our energy, our life force, which is all down to who and what and when, how you're going to spend your energy time. That's your currency. That's what creates where you put your attention to. No matter how real any fallen reality is, just let it collapse and focus on what you want to create right now. Because manifestations are massively heightened. It doesn't mind whether you're for or against anything. It's wherever you're putting your attention to, that's what you're co-creating. Really remember that really, really simple ultimate truth. Okay? Because all the shitness has been cleared now. Stop focusing on it and recreating it. Please. Uska aina te akeate. All right, quantum leap jump merge with your already ascended diamond avatar self, coming fully online now, in full true HIEROGAMIC collective reunion. That's our cosmic reunion event. This is everything we have been praying for, working towards, all culminating in this freaking now moment. And it's done. So, although it's not done until it's done, it's already done. Because we can already perceive it, and I know I'm here for this, and this is already online. Okay, we fully anchored this reality. No matter how intense it gets now, try to keep breathing into your heart, keep coming back to your heart, okay? As we fully break through the intensity, it will be massive love bliss. I've been shown some previews, you feel so light, and that's when we really fully merge and anchor these higher dimensional realities, okay? And it's as if like the lower three-dimensional reality, dimensional bandwidths are being fully merged or kind of sucked up into the higher. So kind of the new lower three-dimensional realities would be 4, 5, and 60, okay? But it's way beyond that because everything is kind of moved up an octave, literally, okay? So you're fully getting rid of the lower frequency bandwidths, realities that just don't exist anymore. They don't for me. So jump onto the bandwagon, the Ascension Express, so to say, if you want to. Join us for the activation if you like, or the replay. If this is for you, always ask your guidance if this is really in alignment with you. They are very powerful. But together we anchor a whole lot of magic. So let's do this, okay? Full activation of the Diamond Avatar Self, the HIEROGAMIC codes, divine union, our cosmic reunion, and ascension. It's here now. Sukera tenateake, uskushkushka ai nakarati. All else done. Now, that's it. Over and out. Infinite love, always. Bye, bye, bye.